Let's bring in Third Bridge Global Sector Lead for Technology, Media, and Telecommunications, Scott Kessler. Scott, if I recall, Oracle gives guidance on the call. So are there any questions about pull forward here? How much volatility might we see in this name after hours, given how much it was up during the regular session and it is trading higher now?
Yeah, no, absolutely, John. I think it's a good point. And frankly, the stock, if you look, over the 3 months concluding on Friday, the stock was up, I think, over 70%. So you're talking about a name that people have obviously been gravitating to. I think the results were largely good, although I'd say revenues were largely in line. So it seems to me like people are anticipating, some favorable commentary around, those key buzzwords right now, cloud and AI, which, everyone's interested in hearing more about.
How should I process this, given the upside surprise from MongoDB that sent that higher? I mean, Mongo is a much, much smaller than Oracle, but David Acharya was telling a story of share gains there, driven in part by AI workloads.
Yeah, and I watched that interview that you did with him. Look, I mean, I think a lot of the trends are similar, although I would argue that people look at MongoDB as a share taker from the likes of Oracle, and I think you guys might have talked about that to some extent during that interview. Look, the bottom line here is to what extent we're going to see accelerating growth from the company. And obviously, you have to account for the Cerner acquisition, but I think people have been looking at Oracle as kind of a mid-single-digit revenue grower, and now they're thinking more about it potentially getting back to double-digit growth, whether it's this year or next year. I think that's kind of a big key to thinking about how investors should be perceiving and acting relative to Oracle going forward.
How does the macroeconomic uncertainty that we've been talking about with every company, but especially with the tech industry and enterprise tech specifically, how is that going to factor in here? How much of a risk is that to, when you're talking about cloud, or you're talking about infrastructure, you're talking about AI, to the story, the growth story that is Oracle?
Yeah, look, I mean, Morgan, we talk to experts every day, and one of the things that we hear on a regular basis is this notion that, look, there's economic uncertainty. Maybe, in fact, things are better than were anticipated. But companies are looking to cut costs. They're looking to manage expenses. And Oracle consistently talks about how they're able to kind of work with customers to provide more value-added solutions for better prices. And I think that's something that Oracle has been hammering on for the last couple of quarters. We'll see to what extent they can talk about that over the course, not just of the conference call, but in the coming weeks as well.
John raised this earlier, and I'm going to channel him here with this question. But NVIDIA, the closeness with NVIDIA, and the fact that in the press release you have Larry Ellison talking about NVIDIA themselves are using our clusters, including one with more than 4,000 GPUs for their AI infrastructure. How important is that to Oracle? And I guess more broadly, if you're going to be a company that's adopting generative AI right now, is it you have to be partnering with NVIDIA? Is that the game in town, at least in terms of communicating with investors?
Look, I think that message is one that resonates with potential and existing buyers, but to a large extent, I think some perceive that as, marketing spin. To some extent, Oracle historically has been very good at the sales side of software. We'll see to what extent they can connect the dots in terms of the alliance and alignment with NVIDIA and how that helps them provide better products and services to customers.
Scott, very quickly, do you buy at these levels? Very quickly.
So the fundamentals are definitely strong. And so I think people are looking for cues to see whether they'll continue going forward.